A couple of days ago, I made a video sharing my first impressions about PSVR 2's comfort, visuals, gameplay of Horizon Call of the Mountain, and discussion of the headset's price. Since then, I received many requests to make a separate video with a breakdown of PSVR 2's price compared to its previous generation and to its competitors, and I was happy to do it. And I also added a couple of extra comments that you will not find in the original video. So if you're unsure if PSVR 2 is too expensive or not, or if you have a friend who is concerned about PSVR 2's price tag of $550 send them the link to this video and I guarantee you that you'll find your answer here. It's one of the most controversial topics, with some people saying that it's way too expensive and others saying that it is very reasonable for the features that it offers. To get to the bottom of this, let's break it down. We know that at launch, PSVR 2 will cost $550. This will include the headset, the controllers, and basically everything you will need, with the exception of PS5, the retail price of which is $500. Now let's compare it to the original release of PSVR 1. When the headset was first released, it came out at $400, which at that time did not even include the camera, and you needed to buy it as an extra for $60. And you need to add in the fact that many of the games required controllers, and those go for $50 each, add another $100 to the price of the headset. $560, that's already more expensive than PSVR 2. And actually it's a lot more expensive because one other thing you need to consider is inflation. PSVR 1 was released almost 7 years ago. It was a different world back then with a different economical situation. Factoring in inflation also makes a significant price difference in favor of PSVR 2. Basically, $560 in 2016 was way more expensive compared to the same amount in 2023. Think way over $600. And the only major difference is the price of the actual console, PS4, $400. Insert the inflation argument again. But what if we compare it to PC VR headsets? Most of the VR headsets that could compete with the image quality and features of PSVR 2 would go for at least $1,000. Know that no matter how much you love budget devices like Quest or Pico, they cannot compete with the image quality and features offered by PSVR 2. We're talking more about hardcore PC VR headsets like Reverb G2, Warrior, Index, Pimax, and so on. Probably more, and that would be just for the headset alone, and many of them would also require base stations and controllers. Instead of buying a PlayStation console, you would need to buy a VR-ready PC. Just the GPU alone that would be able to let you play high or ultra settings of games would be at least $1,000. That's RTX 3080. Again, this is not to say that cheaper GPUs will not run PC VR games, but not at the quality comparable to PSVR 2. For example, you could get an RTX 2060, but to run a game like Horizon on higher or ultra settings with 120Hz refresh rate, you will need a better graphics card than that. So the entire PC will go for much more than $1,500. And I'm not even adding the base stations and controllers. You're already getting a much higher price point than you would for both PSVR 2 and PlayStation 5. And sure, you can go for Quest 2 with its mobile processor if you're ready to downgrade the visual quality on it, but still, with the recent price increase, you would need to spend $500 for the 256GB version, and that is only $50 cheaper than the PSVR 2. And with Quest, you will still need a VR-ready PC. So you can see it for yourself. Getting PSVR 2 and PlayStation 5 together will still get you the cheapest way for getting the highest quality of visuals in VR, on par with some PC VR heavy headsets. The only good reason I see to go for PC VR other than playing Steam VR games is if you already have a beefy PC and you're all set to play at ultra settings. As for PSVR 2, I kind of think that if you're curious about it, then you might already have PS5 in your possession, in which case pre-ordering PSVR 2 is a no-brainer. Much more PSVR 2 content is coming soon, and if you haven't already, check out my first impressions review of PSVR 2 and the upcoming game Horizon Call of the Mountain, and subscribe to Disco VR to see more VR content like this. Thanks for watching and see you next time!